Hello, Spoonie pals. This is Kylie, as you may know, but you may not because I dyed my whole hair purple, which is really exciting. I'm sorry I haven't posted a video in a little while, but I have an awesome one that I'm finishing editing. So for right now, I wanted to focus on some Spoonie tips. So, basically, at least once or twice a day, I see the same picture on Instagram, so I'm pretty sure that this is a big thing for people. Like, the 10 things or however many things to never say to a Spoonie, and so I wanted to talk about that. How to regroup it in your head so it's not, like, as upsetting, because I think that a lot of things mentally make everything worse physically. So, here we go. Number 1. Hey, Kylie, you're looking fantastic. Like, at least you have that going for you. Thanks? Yeah, well, if you knew how I felt, then you wouldn't be able to handle this. Which is actually something that you usually really want to say, but you can't, because that's socially not okay. Because then they will be kind of annoyed, and then it just causes a bunch of extra problems, and then you just go crazy, and then you're really mad about everything, and then you just don't want to talk to people anymore. Well, I gotta be honest, that's usually kind of what I do, but don't do it. Yeah. How is your dog? Never change the subject. Well, unless it's like really awkward, then that's okay. You just take him by the face and you say, you know what, that's not how I feel. Okay, I'm sorry. This is what you're really gonna do, because I actually need to give you guys some answers. So let's say you just like have your friend with you and they are like, oh, you know what, you were looking fantastic, I could just lick you. Then instead of saying like, you know, I feel like, oh, thank you, I'm glad you think that I look great. I just am not feeling the best still. And then they'll probably be like, oh really, like how, like what's going on with that? And it's just like, well, I'm just having a hard time, and it's also confusing, I'm sure, that I look okay on the outside when I don't really feel okay on the inside. And just leave it at that. Mustache. Issue number 2 with this. You know, I wonder, should I just like diss everything that I'm feeling since everyone else is? Just don't do that. You are worthy of validation, and you have validation no matter what everyone else thinks, because they are other people, and you need to love yourself. I actually mean that though. You need to love yourself, and that is why when people say those things, you just stand in your ground like a warrior. You can even use your IV pole as a sword. Just kidding, don't do that, it's illegal. But really, what you are feeling is accurate for yourself, because the only one who can determine that is you. This is issue number 3. It has to deal with the definition of understanding. Now, we all look for understanding, even though we kind of never really understand anyone. Like, not saying that no one's able to do that, it's just that no one is going to be able to understand another person exactly, because you're different people, and you can't really like put your thoughts into someone else's brain, because that would be kind of cray. So while it's kind of upsetting if someone doesn't fully understand you, I think it's best for yourself and most healthy for your own mentality to try and realize the ways that they are at least attempting to, and then go from there and figure out what they can do to be better, like more effective friend for you, or partner, or family member. I think the best way to do this is that if you're feeling they aren't understanding properly how hard it is, like, to go through what you're going through at the moment, think of an anecdote. So I'll give you an example. Well, I have a lot of fatigue. Oh, I know, I totally understand. I am so tired all the time after I go do all these things and run a marathon. No, you don't understand, like, I have chronic fatigue. Like, how do I put this? Before that happens, think of something that all of your... There's a dog. Before that happens, think of all the most important symptoms or issues that you have that need to be explained to other people. So, if it's chronic fatigue, this is what you say. Yeah, I know. I mean, a lot of things are tiring, but on top of that, it's kind of like I feel like I'm constantly walking through sand, or if I even just sit up in bed, then it's kind of like I did a few errands, you know, like it's just hard. Like with my illness, I have a little bit extra fatigue in that way. So don't play it down, don't over-exaggerate, and don't make them feel bad. Just try and explain in the most effective way with little anecdotes like that. Like, people are, I find, really good with examples. So if you say something like when I said, like, even just sitting up in bed is tiring for me, as if I'd gone to a lot of things. You're not comparing to what they're doing, you're just saying this is how life is for me in a constructive way, and usually they'll kind of understand and be like, oh, I'm really sorry that you have to go through it like that. Like, people, it just clicks a little bit better. It's never gonna fully click for them, but it's gonna be a little bit more effective. If someone says something and it's kind of upsetting, or like mainly upsetting because you feel like they aren't understanding you, or they're not understanding you as well as you thought they did, then just take a minute and then think about it. Like, you know, maybe it's not me that's not being able to be understood. It's like my illness and what I'm going through is not something that people usually have to think about. So you can help yourself by having ways to explain to people in advance. If that helps you, then I think that people are usually willing to listen at that point, especially if they kind of have some understanding and they just need a reminder, because oftentimes even people who have understood once, you kind of need like a little example or something to remind them exactly how it is, because they aren't living with it like us, and that's what makes it all so challenging. When people really make an effort, in the very least, I think that's what's needed. So both sides have to kind of contribute to make that happen. I wish that I could just say that we all are magical rainbow unicorns and that we just have telepathy or something, and then everyone just knows, but that's just not how it goes, man. Is that a new word? I'm feeling so silly today. It just happened randomly, so I had to hurry and make a video because, like, normally I'm just like, yes, this is my throne, and then I have a huge disaster. Oh, hey, no, that doesn't look that bad. Really, it looks worse. Seriously though, this Spoonie thing and explaining everything is kind of hard, so just don't expect perfection, and don't be hard on yourself, because that's really what this is about. Like, it's just hard on yourself when people aren't understanding. I think a lot of people struggle with that even with regular things, and then we have a lot extra to struggle with on top of the regular things for people to understand. So take your time and be gentle with yourself and know that this isn't your fault. Do you feel like we're having a little slumber party? Meow. We're gonna be serious again, I swear. Probably the second most common thing people have been talking about is not being able to make plans with friends, which sucks. So we're gonna talk about it. So, kind of goes something like this. This is a friend though. So you're just like, hello, Kylie. would you like to go out today? Sorry, computer. And then you're just like, no, I would not like to go out today. Why don't you want to go out today? Because I feel like poo-poo today. And they're like, I don't understand. And then you're like, well, I'm so sorry, I am having a flare-up. And they're like, what? And then that's a problem. So here's how to fix it, friends. So you're like, hey, you know, how do I say this to this person that I feel really sick and I don't want to throw up on them if we go out, because that's what's gonna happen. I actually advise that you say, like, no, I'm feeling very nauseous, or just pick one of those and say what you can do, or else you'll just have to hang out some other time soon, even if that's not fully true. Like, even if you can't hang out soon, just say, because you want them to know that you're interested, you just can't. And then each time that happens, if it's been a couple of times, I would probably just say, like, you know, I really need to do something that's much less activity, or you need to just come over and watch a movie with me because I feel really bad, but I can't do these things. Like, I don't want to make it hard on you. I think it's better to be open and honest about this part, because, like, without over-exaggerating, of course, because no one is gonna receive that as well if you're, like, saying, like, oh, I'm gonna die if I go out. I'm just thinking, you know, that might be kind of true sometimes, though. Only say that when that's true. I made up my own song about being a cat, 'cause when you feel like a cat, you gotta be a cat. Okay, wait, there's something huge that I just realized that I forgot. If someone ever says that you are faking it, or that isn't real, or what you're experiencing isn't whatever, if they are in some way undermining what you are going through, do not allow that to happen. Feel free to be, like, moderately upset about it. Like, that should be upsetting. People shouldn't be able to say that. So, you don't have to be, like, crazy or mean. I mean, sometimes that happens after people say that too many times, though. But if it's the first time someone's saying something, just say, like, hey, you know, that's really not... that's not okay to say to me. Like, this is a real experience for me, and I am going through real things, so despite what you think. Feel free to stand up for yourself. Don't let anyone be a bully. Just knock out their bully sayings and be empowered. Like a Grecian goddess, or a Grecian god, because that is wonderful. I mean, really, though, put on your awesome hat, full of awesome, and just fill yourself full of awesome, and just be like, dude, I am awesome, and my experiences are real, and there ain't nothing you can do about that. I mean, seriously, no one can tell you what you are going through. You know what you are going through. Be true to yourself. Don't feel like you have to exaggerate anything or undermine anything. Just be real and figure out what that is, and it'll change constantly, because that's just how it is with chronic illnesses. But if anyone decides to doubt that, screw that. And that's straight to the point. Just say, you know, I don't think that's the thing you really want to be saying to me, because that is not true in the least. I know what is true, and I know what's real for my body, and I'm sorry that you don't believe me. That really hurts my feelings. Be honest about how that made you feel, and if they are someone important to you, they will respect that. If not, then you should not be around such a poo-poo. That's a poo-poo thing to say. If it's a family member, then just say, like, this is not being very supportive feeling. Like, this really hurt my feelings. And I wish that I was faking it, but I'm sorry, I just am not. I think that's okay to say. It is okay to be upset and stuff in this situation because that is upsetting. I tried to conserve my energy so that I could somewhat be my weird, goofy self because that is how I am, and I hope that you enjoyed it. So I will have more tips in the future. This is just one, like, small part of all the things that we go through. So stay strong and be empowered and believe in yourself and love yourself. Okay? Alright, I love you all because you're awesome. Okay, bye.